Yo, what is up, everybody? Let's back again with another story from the collection titled Insomnia Horror Collection, written by Noctis Draven. Remember to use the links in the description below. Show love to the author. Like, comment, and subscribe. Story 2, The Filmmaker. I met Jason when I moved to Oregon in 2010. We started dating not long after. It was pretty great. As all relationships do, we hit a dry one after a few years due to hectic work schedules, little free time, and just not being able to be around one another much. It was welcome news when we were both actually able to plan our vacations together in such a way that we both had a solid week off simultaneously. Well, Jason went crazy planning, and being a native to Oregon was all about the outdoors. I was more of a stay in with a book and pizza girl, but for the sake of breaking up the monotony, I let him take the lead on this one. Jason was super excited that his uncle let him borrow the cabin for a few days. He said it was out in the middle of Elliott State Forest and would be great to get out of the city, just the two of us. Guess he was capitalizing on the romance novels I read, because it totally hit a nerve with me on a good level. The night before, he went crazy packing. We had clothes, portable heaters, food, and Jason, in typical guy fashion, had his survival pack. It had knives, 300 flashlights, and for some odd reason, mountain climbing equipment. He watched a lot of survival shows. I let him have his fun. I was more excited to be alone with him finally, and to be surrounded by the forest. The peace and quiet would be bliss compared to the sounds of traffic day and night. Besides, I couldn't remember the last time I saw the stars. The next day, we drove to his uncle's to get the keys to the place and had to visit for a while for pleasantry's sake. He and Jason caught up on old times and shared a few stories over lunch. The only strange thing came when he started telling Jason about the cabin. He asked Jason if he had any protection. Jason told him that we didn't own a firearm of any kind. He asked him if he wanted to borrow one, which Jason and I said no. I asked him if wild animals were a big concern out there, to which he simply shook his head and said, "Never mind, I'm sure you two will be fine." Well, I tried to shake it off best I could, but damn, did that put a weird feeling in my gut. In any case, Jason got the keys, and we were bound for our little cabin in the woods. Jason insisted on playing his awful playlist on the drive, but I gritted my teeth and let him have his moment. After a while, civilization began to be swallowed by the thick forest and winding roads that took us deeper into it. We finally reached a point where the road just stopped. There was a spot to pull the vehicle over to kind of a makeshift shoulder. "Alright, baby, you have to walk from here." Great, I thought, as I got out and followed suit. We loaded up our packs with all our bedding, clothes, food, and supplies and made a solid 2-mile hike down an old, worn, man-made trail. Around 6:30, we arrived at the cabin and I wasn't disappointed. It was everything you'd imagine it would be. Rustic, cozy, surrounded by thick forests, but well cared for. Kind of place you could rent out if need be. I could already see myself on the large porch, feet kicked up, and my newest read, Warm Sun, on me. Jason fumbled with the key for a bit, but we gained entry. Inside was even better. It was ordained with antlers, wood, and graveling all over the walls, and even a big fireplace right next to an old box television that was no doubt there for aesthetic value. The kitchen had modern appliances, and even the bathroom was up to date, clean. This little slice of heaven in the middle of nowhere. I half wanted to ask Jason to convince his uncle to let us live here. After the initial shock and awe was over, we sat straight, making ourselves at home. I put away food and the likes while Jason put toiletries and bedroom things away. After a while, we were at home in our cabin and snuggled up next to a fire, fantasizing on leaving life, running away to live here. Jason toyed with the idea of becoming a wild man and living off the grid and from the land, but we were both too spoiled to rough it. We settled for laughing, talking, and making out. Needless to say, first night there was perfection. The next day was mostly spent walking around small trails outside the cabin, nature watching, and each of us relaxing our own ways. I would read outside while it was sunny, and then read some more while soaking in the huge soaker bathtub next to candlelight. Cliche as it seems, it did the trick for relaxing me. Jason was chopping firewood with an axe he found leaning against the cabin. That night, after a romantic dinner of homemade chicken Alfredo and the finest $13 wine the drugstore had to offer, Jason and I prepared for bed. Of course, we couldn't let such a romantic setting go to waste, so naturally, Jason started getting frisky. Light pecks and Eskimo kisses turned to heavy making out, and then, well, you know. Right in the middle, Jason hops out of bed and rushes over to his pack next to a large dresser. He fumbles around in the dark, and I hear some electric buttons being pressed. I grew curious, turned on the lamp and the nightstand next to me. Oh, no, we totally are not, Jason. Oh, babe, come on. Like, really? Most guys look at porn. I just want to look at you. Can we, please? I thought about it, but reason reigned supreme. No, sir, we cannot. Imagine if it leaks and we lose our jobs or something. You want it, then it's off camera. But you better hurry, because I'm losing the mood. Jason hesitated, but wasn't about to call my bluff. So he turned the camera off and set it on the dresser, lens pointed away from us. Maybe it was the cool night, amazing dinner, a relaxing atmosphere of the rustic cabin in the secluded forest, but the sex was amazing. We fell asleep tangled in one another, and it was blissful. The next morning, Jason was up before me. He was in the shower, and I wrapped a robe around myself and was heading into the kitchen to start coffee when something odd caught my eye. That little asshole, I thought as I noticed the camera facing the bed and the red light blinking. I picked it up and tried to figure out the buttons. It was confusing with Jason singing horribly in the shower. I managed to flip out the screen and find playback. I was horrified by what I saw. At first, it was just me, this video of my face extremely close. It would pan up and down from my hair to my chin and across my naked body. I figured Jason was being a pervert and was about to toss the camera in the shower, but then the view panned out. There next to me in bed was Jason. So who the hell was filming us? Both Jason and I were in bed side by side. Cold chill ran down my spine that I haven't felt before in my entire life. I screamed for Jason, and he stumbled and tripped on the way out, barely managing to wrap himself in a towel first. I showed him the footage, and I don't think I have seen him so frightened before. We both searched the entire cabin inside and out for any way someone could enter. Found nothing. We had the only key, and Jason's uncle wouldn't drive hours out of the way in the dead of night just to play a sick joke. We cut our vacation short, as we both knew something bad would happen if we stayed again. We packed up as fast as possible, racing against daylight, surely leaving some things behind. The hike back to our car was stressful as Jason constantly looked over his shoulder and kept saying someone was following us. Was he telling the truth or just scared? I didn't know, but I didn't stop to find out. After making it to the car, we tore ass out of that place, never to return. Ever since then, when Jason and I vacation, we do it in the city. That, ladies and gentlemen, is the end of our second story.